Welcome back, everyone. Well, today we got a slightly different project. Should be minor, I hope. Need to get the truck running. Granted, it's only been a couple of years since I ran it last. Last time, though, I had some problems with fuel delivery. So with this truck, this is a 2005 Ram diesel, so it has the 5.9 Cummins in it. I did do quite a few modifications to the fuel system as well as the intake and things like that, so it's upgraded a bit. And one of the things I did was a FASS lift pump. Now it's up inside that enclosure you see there. The reason for that enclosure is somehow, and I should have known this when I put it on, when I go driving in sub-zero temperatures, that thing just freezes solid, or at least the fuel gels up. Even with anti-gel it seems to have trouble with it. So anyway, I created this little box just to try to keep the wind off of it and packed it with insulation. But I have not removed that or done anything with it in quite some time. So I'm going to take that down, replace the filters, and see if that does anything at all for getting this thing running again. But in the meantime, let's hook her up to the battery charger and see if I can get anything to happen here. Well, voltage was fluctuating a little bit between 10.5 and 12. I hope that doesn't mean that I've got a bad battery up in here. But let her charge for a little bit, see if we can bring her back. Here we are with the cover off. So let me show you what I got here. So this is that weather cover that I created. Basically just something to keep the wind off of this. You have to be careful with something like that, as animals probably like living in it. Thankfully, nothing this time. But now we need to take these two off. So this is your water separator, and this is your fuel filter over here. I'm pretty sure that these have just been gummed up because I haven't run this in quite some time. So there are a couple of ways to remove this. One, you can try just by hand, seeing if you can release them. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, okay. So that one's loose enough. Okay, there we go. And we've got minimal fuel in the bottom of this, so I think I figured out the problem. The same thing over here. If this doesn't work, you can use a strap wrench if you have one. They make this kind of thing really easy. Alright, that one's about half full. Looks a little messy in there. Okay, so what I'm going to try, I'm going to bring my new filters over here, and I'm going to at least pre-fill the water separator with diesel fuel. And see if I can actually fill both of them. But then we're going to run the pump a couple of times, see if we can get fuel to the engine, and see how it runs. Well, here's something to keep in mind. Always check your filters to make sure that you're buying the right ones. So this is what I purchased, the PF3001. Here's the problem. What was on here was the FF3003. And then I've got the FS1001 water separator. So unfortunately, these are not the same thing. So I happen to have one spare fuel filter. So what I'm going to do is clean up my water separator a little bit, make sure the gasket's good, refill the existing one, and then replace my filter with the new one. This is just a 2-gallon diesel container. You don't need a lot. Okay, I'm mostly full. That should be able to draw a suction now. Always make sure when you're putting your filters on, no more than hand tight. Here's the replacement fuel filter up front. Just going to make sure this is a nice clean surface. There we go. Okay, now let's get inside and cycle the pump a few times. All right. Neutral. Let's give her a try. Alright, sounds like she's drawing air down here. Let's see what we can do about that. Okay, let's give that a try. So what I had before, the water separator was only about a quarter full. It was the fuel I had in the can, and I did not pre-fill the filter. So I've now filled both of them to 100%. Let's see what we get. same thing that happened last time. Okay, I think I found my problem. So, two things happened. One, I took this filter off and sure enough we're down to about here. So that tells me that this pump is either not pumping fuel or it's not able to keep up with the draw of the engine. It always used to, so that makes me wonder. However, I don't know if you can see this or not, but right in front of that body mount there's a wet spot on the frame. That is absolutely diesel fuel. So what that tells me, the blue lines that this thing uses must not be as solid as I thought. So right here, this is one of the high flow lines that came with this pump. Now this one is definitely, it's seen better days. So I think between this and the dripping that I see coming from under the cab, I'm pretty sure what that means is I've got some bad fuel lines up in here and I need to replace them. So what that tells me, if the pump isn't pumping fuel and if I've got a leak in a fuel line, then I need to replace both. Now thankfully, from what I can remember, if I get the full kit for the FASS fuel pump, it does come with the necessary fuel lines. So I think this is going to be a much bigger project. I need to replace the lift pump and the fuel lines in order to get this to run. So I guess it's going to sit for a little while, but we'll work on it, get some parts together, and we'll get another video once I've actually got the equipment to do this. So for now, I'll see you over the next horizon.